Hello, everybody, and welcome to Top Hat Chat live with me, Street and Orb. Today, on episode 10 of the Great Gaming Debate, we are going to be discussing the best video game franchises ever and whether or not Borderlands and The Legend of Zelda fit into that category of the best franchises ever. I mean, this is a huge category, and it's really, really hard to kind of come up with anything at all that you'd kind of go, nope, definitely not. It's not happening as far as Legend of Zelda goes, as an example. I mean, The Legend of Zelda had some of the greatest games of all time, you know, across the franchise. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. A lot of people didn't like it, but it's definitely worth talking about. Breath of the Wild.
Twilight Princess for me, personally.
Twilight Princess. Obviously, everybody's absolutely raging about Link's Awakening at the moment, saying how good it is. As well as the original. I mean, people rave about the original as well.
They do. The original is obviously one of the most iconic games of all time, especially for our American audience. You know, there's a big deal that Zelda was part of that saving of the video games industry. You know?
Yeah, there's a shout for that. Yeah, which is amazing. The original Zelda. I mean, Zelda 2. Lots of people don't like that. Top Hat Game Man is one of the people that love it.
Yeah, he absolutely adores it.
He loves Zelda 2. And they're all slightly different in their own way, which is nice. You get a lot of variety in those games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they always introduce interesting mechanics and everything like that, and they really pushed forward that adventure genre.
Yeah.
You know, and just there's so many gaming memes, if you like, that are 100% born from the iconicness of Zelda, iconicity, of Zelda, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's so integral, and it's very easy to state the case that it is the best gaming franchise or series of all time.
Yeah, I mean, you can even look at the fact that it's branched out a bit into other games. For example, you have Link in Mario Kart and in Smash Brothers.
You do.
So, you know, they've got enough kind of about them as characters to be inserted into other people's games and still be thought of as great characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quite impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, Link and Zelda themselves transcend video gaming. You know, they are popular. Like Zelda is a popular name again for a girl. I mean, I know it's not strictly born from this game, but this has a lot to do with the longevity of a bloody name, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean, Robin Williams' daughter is named Zelda.
Exactly.
Yeah. Didn't name his son Link though, which is a bit of a shame.
No,
could have really gone for it.
Although that would have probably invited some, some Lannister-esque action.
Yeah, maybe. That could have been a bit dodge.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, Zelda, possibly one of the greatest franchises ever. There are a few absolute awful games in the library, which I'm not going to go over too much because we're trying to say that they're great.
But I think there's a lot less in the Zelda franchise or series. There are a lot less examples of bad entries than there are on certain other iconic gaming series. I mean, we are going to miss a few. There's that many iconic gaming series, or best gaming series, even however you want to phrase it. But a lot of those have more bad entries than Zelda, and you're going to hear about some of them coming up, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So that's enough about Zelda for now. If you've got anything you want to say about Zelda, put it into the chat now, and I'll be trying to read as best I can the different bits that are going on. One of the other games that we're talking about is Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for example, 8-Bit Gamer said Borderlands is the same game 4 times. See, here's the kicker for this one, right? Borderlands 1 was such a good game.
Oh, I love Borderlands 1.
It was incredible, and in a lot of ways, it was groundbreaking for first-person shooters at the time. It did something that other games weren't particularly trying to do, and did it well enough to get a really big following.
Mm-hmm.
The art style was quirky and unique in a lot of ways. I mean, not completely unique, but unique to the masses, at least.
I really enjoy the art style from Borderlands, and that coupled with its humour as well gives me a very sort of Judge Dredd, Tank Girl kind of era of comic book, I feel, to me. Like, that's what it feels like, and I really appreciate that. I really enjoy that a lot. actually.
Yeah.
It's mixed with a lot of stuff like lowbrow art, for example, and things like that, and I really enjoy that stylistically. So Borderlands for me ticks a lot of boxes on the visuals front, and the music, to be fair, is very understated. It's a lot of incidental music it's not like never presented to be the major part of it, although it's really atmospheric. I really enjoy it, and also they have a awesome little knack of picking good licensed songs for their like main song for that entry. Like they usually pick one. The first one that they used was Cage the Elephant. I love that song, and it really fit the whole Borderlands feel for me.
Yeah, it's really, really good song. But what Borderlands did, as far as the series goes, is they took what they did, knew what they did well, and just tried to make slight tweaks. Not one of the Borderlands games is ridiculously different from that first masterpiece that they brought out. Because you had Borderlands 2, which was just more of the same.
I enjoyed Borderlands 2. I didn't play a tremendous deal of 2. Like a fair little bit.
I played more of 2 than 1, I think.
Oh no, I completed 1.
And then you got the pre-sequel.
Yeah, that's the one I played the least.
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of the pre-sequel. But I played enough of it to be able to say it was good.
Yeah. I've played a lot. I've been playing a lot of 3 recently since it come out, and 3's really good. Like it's got bugs in it or whatever, but I don't think that hurts it. I mean, it's not a massive leap forward, and I think that's probably the thing that holds Borderlands back, is it never takes massive leaps forward with each entry. So I think on that basis alone, you can't really consider it to be in the greatest gaming series of all time.
Definitely not.
Especially not when you're talking about FPSs, because like when you've got FPSs, the COD series, Battlefield, things like that are way more popular.
Well, not just that.
And iconic, and have shifted more units.
If you go back a bit more, you've got the likes of Doom.
Yeah, Half-Life,
Quake.
Yeah, Quake, Unreal Tournament as well.
Unreal Tournament.
Are all arguably more iconic series. So, and I think if you're going to talk about first-person shooters, you would have to say it could be any one of the numerous ones we just listed there before something like Borderlands.
I mean, what we will say, I think what is fair to say about Borderlands, it is probably one of the best first-person shooter adventure games ever.
Yeah.
Open world adventure. Try and narrow it down a little bit more, so it's got to be up there.
You see, it struggles when you're talking about open world adventure because you've got games out there like
open world adventure, first-person shooters.
Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout. That's it.
Like I would say,
and the first 2 Fallouts didn't count because they weren't. They were top downs.
That's it. So, yeah.
It's
tough. It's a tough sell.
The best adventure, first-person shooter adventure games, open world, where they never strayed from that genre.
Very specific, but yeah, maybe I'll give you that.
It's specific enough for me to get the point across, without having to absolutely crap all over Borderlands, because I don't want to do that.
No.
I will a little bit though. Actually, can I? I think I can. I think I should. The problem with Borderlands is there isn't enough change. It's great to do something well and not change it up too much, but there's slight character changes, but they're all pretty much the same. They run off the same kind of 4 character models. Was it Borderlands 2 that threw in one that was completely different, which was the Psycho?
Yes.
Which was completely different. But other than that, everything kind of plays the same?
Yeah. Like, that's the... I was watching a good friend of the streams, Evil Yeti's stream last night on Mixer, and he was playing Borderlands 3, and he's someone I've been playing it with. And he was talking on his stream, and he made a very good point. He said the problem that Borderlands 3, or Borderlands in general, has is classes aren't defined enough to make it feel like it makes a difference on who you are. Like, there are abilities that you obviously get access to depending on what class you pick, but you can more or less everyone plays the hero.
Yes. Yeah.
And ideally, when you are offering things like classes, you want to be able to shape a game so you can not necessarily be the huge damage dealing tanky person that's mowing everyone down. That's not the point of classes. Like, you have glass cannons, you have healers, you have buff people, you know what I mean, you have all sorts, aggros and everything. Like, there are so many roles to play, especially when you're looking at things like D&D, that Borderlands feels really limited, and the class system is superficial. So yeah,
100% agree. The one thing that is quite nice about that, though, is the fact that it doesn't matter. You can choose any character. On the flip side, it doesn't matter. Your choice doesn't matter. So you can play as any character and still get the same experience, which is both a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, but then the thing is, you can do that if you look at a game, for example, such as the latest South Park game, The Fractured But Whole, which we've been playing. That does what I call a liquid or fluid class system, in the sense that you can respec at any point.
Yes.
And whilst the classes don't necessarily feel too different, you add, pick and choose, and it feels a lot more free. Like, if you're offering that idea that, oh, well, everyone can do everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, okay, then if everyone can do everything, why am I limited to what I can do? Like, you know, you can do everything, but you don't get all these powers that other people get. Whereas South Park kind of offers you that. You can be as rigid or as fluid with the classes as you choose.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to offer that illusion of choice, then you need to really go for it instead of not.
That's a fair point. I think we should start talking about some other games, some of my favourite games ever. Mm-hmm. So, you got the Tomb Raider franchise.
Yeah, I love the Tomb Raider games.
I love the Tomb Raider games. I remember sitting as a kid watching my dad play them because I didn't have the dexterity to be able to play properly. And he would rush through them really quickly and smash the game, and it was fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Then going back to them as a kind of mid-teenager, and enjoying the hell out of them, just playing through them again and again and again.
I love the music in the Tomb Raider games.
Yeah.
It's some of my favourite game music of all time. It was so atmospheric, and it got me so interested into archaeology as well. I mean, I always have enjoyed history and archaeology, and I know it's almost like, oh, it's not exactly Time Team Simulator, and that's not the point I'm trying to make.
Nobody would have bought that.
I literally would have bought almost every copy I could have got my hands on. That would have been amazing. But like, what it did do is it's like that Indiana Jones kind of feel, and it was so 90s. It was that bad attitude, hot chick lead woman in Lara Croft who transcended gaming. Like, that's the thing about Lara Croft that's so unique, is she is so iconic that she transcended games. She got her own films.
Yeah.
She was on the cover of real life magazines for, like, you know, the pin-up magazines. Like, she made, I think it was GQ or something that she was on the front cover of and stuff, and it was just like, it was crazy. And to me, like, Tomb Raider is a huge slice of the 90s, like, especially the first 4 games in the series. And I really enjoyed the remake that they did of the first one, Tomb Raider Anniversary.
Kind
of bringing it up again, but it retains a lot of that same appeal to me. I'm a big fan of the Tomb Raider games. The main issue I feel you have,
go on, you first,
is there are many, many, many bad Tomb Raider games.
Yeah, there's a few, and the films weren't great either.
No.
So it was more of a movie cash-in, if we're going to argue that. Mm-hmm. Where, well, the game's popular, we'll make a film. Which probably isn't the best way to go when it comes to actually making stuff, really. No. So the films weren't good. The new one isn't great either. And then loads of bad entries into the games.
That's the problem. It has too many missteps. I think it's iconic as all hell, and it deserves its place being mentioned amongst all of the elite, and it is arguably one of the elite franchise or slash series that there are in gaming, just because of Lara Croft and the huge business that it did in the 90s. But it can't ever be considered the best because there's so many missteps.
Yes, I completely agree.
There was a series I wanted to bring up.
Go.
Right, it's a little controversial, and you probably have very little to no experience in it.
Meh.
Right.
I play a lot of stuff.
Right.
It's varied.
So I'm going to bring out, if we're talking about franchises of games and series of games, I'm going to talk about the Championship / Football Manager.
Oh God.
Of series of games.
Ugh.
Like, and I know. That's what I mean. You don't have any influence, in interest. Sorry, in that era of gaming at all. And there probably is many of you sitting at home that are like, no, I don't like football, so I don't play it. I'm a gamer. Like, but I like football. I'm a huge football fan, and as well as being a gamer. So games like Football Manager and stuff, and I know, again, controversially, like FIFA and Pro Evolution and things like that, I enjoy because I'm a big football fan. The Championship Manager, Football Manager series of games is insanely addictive, right?
Yeah.
People pour in thousands of hours into this franchise. Like, seriously, like I probably have put in thousands of hours over the course of the years. And I've played these games since I've been about 7 years old, and I still play them now, and I'm 29 now.
They're kind of the football fans equivalent to the World of Warcraft basement dwelling loser, isn't it? Like that kind of thing?
No, not at all.
Well, it is a bit.
No, it's not at all.
Why?
Because Football Manager is even enjoyed by the people who play the sport that it's for. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, FIFA is kind of popular too, but Football Manager is one of them ones that, like, the footballers who are real football fans, like real passionate football enthusiasts, as well as being a player, because everyone, loves it to a certain degree, but those who are like heavily into it play Football Manager on there, and it's their job. They play it. Like, they play Football Manager on their computer because it's so addictive, it's so enjoyable. There's nothing like taking a team from the bottom rung of the English football setup to the pinnacle of the Premier League and getting into Europe. Or there's nothing quite like, and this will have no impact on you at all, but there's nothing like getting a job. You've been struggling. You get a job and you take over at Blackpool and you keep them in the Championship and you do an amazing job and you breathe through and you spend your money wisely. You get people in on the wing that for super cheap because their contract was coming up, and you know you're going to kick on and you're struggling in the season and the club's got no money. And it's all going around, and you get sacked because you get caught in that dogfight again, and you're heartbroken because you really cared about Blackpool and you really cared about the people who went to your simulated football games every week. That's how Football Manager, Championship Manager gets you. If you're into football and you're into that sort of style of gaming, that heavily based on statistics and dice rolls, that's the one for you. Like, I love it.
Okay, that was a very passionate speech.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. One of the best games franchises ever?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, if there's people in the chat, 480 Gamers literally put thousands of hours into Football Manager. An old PC started smoking while I was playing it years ago. He will get it. He will exactly get what I'm talking about. Like, it is so addictive. It is so good. So long, much of my time is poured into it. It is iconic. It sponsors football teams. It's like Watford sponsor. It's big in the world of football. I love it.
Okay.
And you have to talk about FIFA as well as a series of games. It shifts so many units.
Yeah, I'm going to try and argue against, because that's a very passionate speech. But the level of variety within the game, it's never changed up what it is. And I understand I used that as a positive in a way earlier, but there hasn't been a lot of change in the games. As well as FIFA. If FIFA released a game every 3 or 4 years, I'd be like 100% FIFA could be up there. But it doesn't. They consistently cash in on crap.
FIFA, I can understand that.
I think even to an extent, Championship Manager does the same thing.
No.
Football Manager games do the same thing.
No.
Because they release a game every year, and there's no need for it.
No.
I could be sitting here right now, right, playing Football Manager 2011.
People
right?
do. No, this is where you're wrong. And this is, I'm sorry, I can't let you carry on because this is where you're wrong. People regularly play Championship Manager 2001 to 2002. People regularly play Championship Manager 03 to 04. I still do, with updated databases from today's games and also the original databases, because each one does have its own distinct feel. Some of them are completely different to the others, and they're still playable all these years later with out-of-date things. Honestly, and you can update it. They're customizable. I love it so much.
Okay.
It's one of the greatest of all time.
I'm just going to throw it out there. Mario.
Yeah.
Football Manager versus Mario.
Look, I didn't say it's the greatest of all time.
But you were trying to.
No, I wasn't.
You're trying to say it's one of the greatest franchises of all time. And in its niche, yes.
In all of gaming.
But when you start looking at other games, such as the Mario series, that has got so much variety. You've got the kart games, you've got party games, you've got platformers, 3D and 2D. You've got entries into fighting games. You've got terrible Hotel Mario games, which are nothing. But at least they exist. The variety. Every single game that you play is slightly different.
Slightly different.
Well,
you were just having a go about
the
that.
gameplay. All of the gameplay is slightly different. The art styles are all very different. The story is the only thing that relatively stays the same, and it's because you like that replayability. You know what your goal is every single time. How on earth can Football Manager stand up against Mario? It cannot.
I'm not saying it's the best of all time. I'm saying it's one of the best.
So what is the best of all time? Because we've already got stuff that we haven't included, like Final Fantasy games, which I haven't included specifically because they're very similar. Stuff like Metal Gear Solid games.
Metal Gear Solid games,
which are great, but again, aren't right up there.
I'm sorry, Top Hat Gaming Man has just entered the chat.
Okay.
And is now telling us to shut up because we're wrong.
Explain.
I don't know. He hasn't said any more than that.
Like you could put Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Pokemon games again
Doesn't evolve enough though, does it? If you're going on about how Football Manager doesn't evolve and all that,
you say that, but it does change up
Curry
stuff
decks
quite a lot. Exactly.
If Football Manager had a curry deck, you'd be on it.
But you've got stuff like Pokemon Snap. You've got Stadium. You've got the JRPGs. You've got on the GameCube, you've got games on the GameCube. You've got Pinball. You've got Mystery Dungeon games.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of variety there. They're not all home runs. No. That's fair.
They're definitely not all home runs. Top Hat Game Man has brought to the front Tetris. Whilst I was making a list and talking through these ideas of Street, mentioned Tetris, and I have a big problem with Tetris.
Tetris is indeed the best-selling game of all time ever, with over 500 million units sold.
But
in its lifetime,
it is only one game.
It is. Well, there's a couple of games. There's not very many.
Right? Do you know what I mean? And when you're talking about, this game doesn't exactly, upset the apple cart and turn things on its head. Almost swore. That's how much Tetris doesn't change. Tetris is the same game. Yeah. And it always will be the same game because it's Tetris is like a genre of puzzle game all on its own.
Yeah.
So all the games are going to be exactly the same. Look, and there are different iterations. All one's more colourful, one's got slightly different music. This one's a battle royale one where you're playing against 99 other people.
Same game. Yeah.
Same game.
Can't get away from it.
That's my problem with it. Yeah, of course it's amazing. And but there's no it's not a series, is it? It's just Tetris. It's just a game.
It's just a game. We're talking about franchises, series, arguable stuff. So I think we do have to try and make a decision here. Tetris is one of the best-selling games of all time, but it is not a perfect game. I think it has to be Mario.
Mario is arguably the greatest game series of all time.
You could go back a little bit further, but they all died out. Sonic,
yeah.
But again, too many duds.
Too many duds in Sonic. We didn't mention Elder Scrolls, which is one of the most impactful RPG series of all time.
Oh yeah, it's been ported to everything.
Skyrim especially. But none of them transcend everything like Mario does, arguably. So, it's tough to argue against Mario. Zelda's up there. Football Manager is up there. Final Fantasy definitely. Metal Gear Solid, which again we didn't go into depth about those series, but they're worth mentioning. There's so many games, and then we ignored fighting games almost in general. Street Fighter series is an iconic series. Tekken is an iconic series. The Soul series is an iconic series.
Yeah.
We could have mentioned them. Racing games, with the Gran Turismo series and things like that.
I think there's a lot in their genres, and maybe what we'll do is over the next few weeks we'll start picking apart some of these genres.
Maybe that's where the gaming debate will travel to next.
Yeah.
The Great Games debate might tackle what is the greatest series in each genre. What is the iconic series example of a genre? Is the iconic platformer, the Mario series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's
Maybe
what we're going to have
it.
to do. Yeah. So, we're going to go
Monkey Island.
We're going to go with Mario.
Monkey Island.
It's the greatest franchise ever.
Monkey Island.
No. It's good. Not greatest ever. Greatest in its era, maybe. Greatest in its particular niche, maybe. But not the greatest guy. So let's answer the question, which was, the original question was, is Zelda and Borderlands one or part of the greatest franchises ever? Zelda's up there.
Zelda's definitely there.
Borderlands isn't.
No.
But Mario definitely is.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
So, thank you for watching this. If you have liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and comment, because we will reply to as many comments as we possibly can. Likes always help. You can find us at all the following places. You can find us at Twitter. We'll be at these places down here. We're also on Instagram. You can just search for Top Hat Chat. And we're also over on Twitch, which is where we're heading right now. That's twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat, where we are going to be playing a Zelda game, actually. We're going to be playing Link's Awakening. I bought it yesterday, and we're going to try it out, see how it is. But yeah, thank you for watching this. We really, really hope you've enjoyed it. We want to hear your input on what you think the greatest single video game franchise of all time is. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Ooh.